if there is somebody here with capital to invest who wants to build a grocery store,
Call them.
call me, you know? I mean, absolutely, call them. We'll work with them. We do not care whether it's, really, we have gotten to the point where I really don't care what kind of grocery store comes in. I really do not. I have no preference whatsoever, okay? All I want is a grocery store so that I stop getting nasty emails, okay? And so that my kids will go grocery shopping with me again, because if we are out in public, people stop me. And my kids will be like, Mom, Mom, you know, I mean, I just want a grocery store. I know this is completely selfish. I'm not really thinking about just what's best for the community. I just want a grocery store here so that I can check it off my list and go on to my next project. That's sort of where I've come to right now. I just want a grocery store. So if it's Aldi's, IGA, Dave's, I mean, all people who have turned us down, Freshway, Mustard Seed, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Giant Eagle, who has a small express system. I'm losing track. I can't remember the ones. Who else have we gone to?
What can you say to these people the second time around that makes them say yes? That's what we want to know.
Yeah, the package has changed since when you first went to Freshway. The package is different now. We have the possibility. They asked about a low interest loan to them, not to you. The package that you can take to them, if we can nail down a package, after the last meeting, I went home and I spent an hour online. Within the first 15 seconds of that hour, I came up with a list of 652 independently owned grocery stores in Ohio. Within that hour, I narrowed it down to about 60 in Northeast Ohio. All right. Now, that's 60 with between about 5 and 50 employees. I just gave it a range because who knows what that means, the data on there is a lot of it's estimated. So, and they give the annual income. All of this information is readily available. And a lot of them are not people on this list that if we as a community could come together, put together a package and say, listen, the city is willing to stand behind this with a low interest loan. The developer is willing to make this fit your needs on the space. The community is willing to commit in one way or another to your store. Now, we keep talking about a co-op, but something that somebody came up to me afterwards, after the first meeting and said was, what if you had the ability to spend some money for a frequent shopper card? It's kind of like a co-op. Would you be willing to go in and spend $100 and get some percentage off? So unlike a co-op where you say the members get a certain percentage off, but everybody else pays higher, it's like saying the opposite. You're just getting a discount, but the frequent shopper cards that are at regular stores, you get them for free. But here, are we willing as a community to give a little bit? I could afford that $100 easily. And then for Christmas, a friend of mine gave me a goat. Not me, but a family. They gave a family a goat. You know what? I didn't have a plastic piece of crap that I'm going to use once and put away in a closet or try to figure out where I'm going to get rid of it for Christmas. But instead, a family has something that's going to do them some good. So during the Christmas season, during the holiday season, can we as a community promote, hey, don't do that. Instead, buy a $100 card that gives some percentage discount to a lower income family that makes it affordable for them to buy groceries at a smaller store that has to charge slightly higher prices than the store out in the suburbs. Yeah. So again, here's a good and reasonable plan that comes together, and we put all of these things together in one package and deliver it out, do a little bit of the research. Again, it took me an hour and I came up with 60. If we were to do a little bit more, and maybe not all of those are going to fit, if half of them fit, but then deliver this package out as a whole with the city standing behind it, with Albrecht standing behind it, with the community groups standing behind it. We've talked through 3 meetings now. Can we just put a package, something real together that we can deliver? And that's
in public.
In public, yeah, in public. You know, you have the study, bring the study in next time. Let's look at it. You know, let us understand. Let's, you know, so right now you have a city working one place, you know, Albrecht, and then you talk to us, and of course we all go home and talk and have our own thoughts about it and stuff, and some of us yell and scream, and other people, you know, are just silently frustrated. And, but you know, there is common ground here. I really do believe it.
Well, I think, you know, there is common ground, and we have been working hard over the past 4.5 years, 5 years to find a grocery store, and we've done a lot of the things that you're suggesting. We've spent tens of thousands of dollars on architectural, and the big pieces to the puzzle. We have a site that's located. We've executed on, we'll call it phase 1 of the joint development agreement, which is the 10,000 square foot building. So there's a developer that's shown that they're capable of building a grocery structure. I mean, you have the infrastructure. We have the parking lot in place, already constructed. And those are the big pieces of the puzzle that we have in place. I mean, if you go on the internet in 15 seconds, you can find, you know, you can probably find 1 million different grocery operators all across the country. And the challenge is, can you garner some interest from those grocery operators?
I think so. I mean, we have the president of the HSNA here, who heads up the West Hill.
Okay.
You, all right. Can you get your people together to say we're willing to make some level of a monetary commitment to this in a way that we can deliver it in a package to help support you, to allow us to do something other than sit in this room and talk for another meeting after this. You know, let us do something.
You guys both have websites. I know Highland Square does. You know, maybe you could put, if you have.
We can post
survey,
a
question,
certainly.
you know?
We've done surveys.
How many people, how many members would be willing, and this would certainly not be a commitment because there's nothing going on, but how many would be willing, just to gauge, how many people would be willing to pay $100 for a free, you know, an annual frequent shopper card, whatever you want to call it, and that goes towards a capital fund, you know, that helps, you know, get them, because it's not only building the grocery store, which is expensive, you know, and if Albrecht would agree to build some, you know, cheap, crappy buildings, that might be a little bit easier, but they insist on building this, you know, real brick, strong foundation thing that's going to be here for 5 generations. They also need to put stuff inside, and all that equipment inside the building is extremely expensive. Like I said, Dave Stetson was telling me about all that stuff on the outside, all those cases. That's where the healthy food is. It also happens to be where the profit is.
Yeah.
So it would make it, a grocery store is going to want that.
Well, even the food bank, we get food from the food bank. Even the food bank requires us to keep in our food pantry inside the shelter a certain temperature. We have to write a temperature log down twice a day. We have to keep, you know, cans up off the floor. Our freezer has to be a certain temperature. The room has to be a certain temperature. The humidity. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. And it sounds like overall the big problem is finding someone who's willing to do it. That seems to be
That's the heart of the matter.
and I don't know that coming here and talking is going to find us that person. I mean, it's good that we're getting our creative juices flowing, and that's a fabulous idea that you came up with. But well,
It was brought to me.
but
Well, we have a couple other people from our organization in the background. I don't know that. Do you guys see any objections to doing a 1-question survey? Would you be willing to?
Another one? Sure. It doesn't cost us.
I mean, yeah, it's free. You know,
I mean,
you can do survey.
before we started the forums, I sent a 1-question survey out about, is a grocery store important to you? And to about 150 members, we got about 90 of them back. One said no, the other 90, I think 80, some of them said yes, definitely, and then commented on what they thought it should have been. And then 7 said maybe, you know. So, I mean, as far as interest in supporting it, I think it's very easy for people to answer on a survey, sure, I'll support it. And then, oh, I gotta get groceries, but I'm over there. And they go over there.
Well, we
I
have,
mean,
you know.
if we can structure it, I think it needs to be more than a 1-question survey.
Sure. Yeah.